Welcome. How you doing? You doing good? I hope you are. My name is Hannibal. This guy over here trying to dance, his name is Pedro. Welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. How are you doing? What is that, Pedro?
It's a little thing I picked up. Anyways, I'm good. How was your Thanksgiving, man? I'm blessed. I'm good.
My Thanksgiving was amazing. I had, ate a lot, hang out with the friends and family. Actually, it's an interesting story I want to talk to you guys about. You and the rest of the people that are already here. Obviously, you guys that are on the replay. I see a few people already in the chat. Appreciate you guys for coming through. But yeah, so as you guys know, and Pedro is one as he's a YouTuber. I guess we can call ourselves YouTuber. Isn't that cringe when somebody asks you like, what do you do or what you have? Like, do you say I'm a YouTuber?
When somebody asks me that, I say I make money on YouTube. I have a channel. I don't call
You,
myself a YouTuber, but I do say I have a channel. I make money on YouTube. I do say that. Yeah.
okay, so you are. You just don't want to say that phrase YouTube. It's
Yeah.
kind of
No.
cringe, right?
I don't. It is cringy. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. But for lack of better terms, and we are
Yeah.
right by definition. We are. Content creators. I like to use that word better. It just sounds better to me. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds
And
better.
I think you call we're content creators, and that's fine. I'm proud of
Yeah.
that. I don't. But the YouTube word is cringy. You're right. It
Yes.
is cringy.
So,
Yes.
when I started my channel, I'm sure you guys know. Most of you guys who probably check me and Pedro out, that we do content, we do YouTube videos. So at Thanksgiving dinner, or not even before I even got to sit down to eat or anything, I have my wife, I have my kid. I go to my cousin's house. Aunts are there, cousins running around, and one of my aunts walks by and says, "Oh, we got a celebrity in the house. We got a celebrity in the house." And I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
no, she's not gonna bring this up, is she?"
Yeah.
And people are like starting to ask, like, "What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking
Mhm.
about?" And it's like, "Oh, he's on he has videos and a lot of people watch him." I'm like, "Oh, please don't have it. No, that's not gonna happen to me. It's not happening right now." And then my
Ah.
cousin, he has, at this point, all TVs have smart TVs, or you can go put YouTube on your big
Oh, did
screen.
they put you up, bro?
So he's
Oh.
typing in and he's like, "What channel is this? Like, what kind of channel?" And then my wife, she sucks. I hate her. She's like, "It's Hannibal's hungry. Type it. Yeah, Hannibal
Oh.
is hungry." And then they're playing the video. They started
Oh.
clapping and cheering and taking pictures. And I've never had
Oh.
such a feeling of like embarrassment, but also like
Yes.
love. Like really, people care about
Yes.
dumb
Yeah.
videos I make. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to bring it down. Like, it's not that big a deal, you guys. And it's like, "Oh, look at cousin. He got 5,000 subscribers." I'm like, "Oh my god."
I
Uh,
love that, man. I had a similar thing, not this, but happened last year. And they were, somebody sent me a picture of them watching me on a TV, and it was my girlfriend's family. And I was like, oh my God, that's the worst. It is, it's like this mixture of like, hey, that's kind of cool,
yeah,
but like, you don't know, like, are they making fun of you? They really
I'm
like,
sure they
it's
will.
like,
Like, like,
our insecurity set in. It's like, what's
yeah.
happening here? It's cringy. It's like, come on, can I just eat my turkey and ham?
I just feel like
You
I
know,
guess when other people they look at it as something really, really awesome, right? But then
yeah,
we look at it like this ain't nothing. Like, we're
yeah.
barely figuring out what we're doing. Some
Mhm.
videos don't work out. Like, we are in the thick of it. We're not thinking that no, people should, your friends and family are proud of what you're doing, and it felt good. And then my son was getting hype, like he was hype, like he knows I make the videos, so he was getting hype because everyone else was getting hype in the
See,
house.
that's awesome though. That
Yeah,
had to make you feel pretty good.
yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit. But
yeah.
he criticized a lot of my videos because I'm not do he watches gaming YouTube with a
Mhm.
lot of flashing, a lot of effects happening. He's like, "Why you don't have a green screen? Why you ain't tell people to smash the subscribe button?" Like that kind of high
Yeah,
energy Mr. Beast stuff. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but it was good. I think that was a highlight of the Thanksgiving because I had to
That's what's
endure
up.
that level of embarrassment. But it's more like people actually are proud. And I guess I didn't tell anyone, but I thought they kind of knew on Facebook
Mm,
because I do post something. But that was my Thanksgiving experience. That doing the dogs and all that stuff. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
but no, you traveled, right? You left
Yeah, we
St.
went to
Louis.
Virginia, man. So on Wednesday, drove all day, and then Saturday drove all day. We were gonna go live on Saturday. Me and Hannibal had plans. It just didn't work. Got in late Saturday night.
Yeah,
But it was a good trip. My girls got family out there. Um,
nice.
We ate good, hung out, went to the mall, just walked around. And just, it was a kind of chill, kind of few days. We were there for, I guess, 2.5 days, and it was a good time. So
Cool. Well, shout out to, I don't know if my favorite followers, I don't call them followers, supporters of the Pedro and Hambo podcast, Pia and Nova Dasher. Yes, Giants lost. I put money on that game and I lost $10. Now I
is that 2 weeks in a row?
I don't know. Maybe. Who's counting?
I think it's two.
I put two bets. I put $40 that they were going to beat the spread. The spread was, there was no way they're going to lose that much, but it looks like they were going to. I think it was 10 points. I was like, nah, it's going to be a close game. And then I bet like another bet 50 that they were going to win. They're going to win, and Daniel Jones is going to throw for 200 yards. Shut your ass up. They didn't cover that spread until like the last minute, like the last 30 seconds. Like if they didn't do that, I would have lost $90. I guess.
Did they? Was it the Cowboys they played? Who was it?
Yeah.
Okay, Cowboys. Cowboys are good. Look, Cowboys are legit.
They had CD Lamb looking like he was Jerry Rice out there. I don't know. It was like come on, Daniel Jones. It's funny. He actually met my criteria for throwing passing yards. I think it was like 198 yards. That's how low it was. But I was like, he's going to get at least that and more. So he got the throw, but if it wasn't for that last drive where they got it, so I think the end of the game was 2018. I would have lost a lot of money. So shout out to everyone who hates the Giants. They're losing a lot of games and they don't look good. Because like I said, Washington looks good. Eagles look like
Eagles look
beast.
Good.
And the Cowboys, I still feel like the Cowboys are going to fall on their face as they always do every year.
Well, I think they'll be in the playoffs, but I could see them losing in the first round or something. You know what I mean? Depending on how it works out, I can see that. They might have to play, let's say, the Vikings or maybe the Bucks or somebody. Or Seattle just lost, but Seattle looks tough. So I think there's, I think it's going to be interesting. This playoffs is going to be an interesting time, I think.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone in the chat. All the usual people. Appreciate you guys for coming in. As you see, I don't know if you guys looking at my screen behind me. I'm watching a World Cup. I think it's Korea versus Ghana. I don't know who's playing, but Ghana's winning, obviously. Right? Am I right, Pedro?
I don't follow soccer. Listen, I know the USA tied the first two matches, which is crazy. I think they gotta play Iran. And if they win, they go to the next stage, but they gotta win. They should win, but they played England. It was 0-0, and that was kind of like England was favored to win that match, and nobody scored a goal, which is boring to watch soccer. And there's no goals. That's pretty.
We complain about flopping in the NBA.
Oh,
but we would call it soccer. I mean, we live in America. The flopping is OD. It's not even. There's no shame. They have no shame. They will pretend they got blasted in the face. The replay's there, and the guy just walks on. He does, he gets back into play. Like, come on, everyone.
They'll be like holding their shin, and then the next minute they're like running full. Like it's like, come on, guys. Like, what's happening here? Like,
it's a little weird. But
they don't have, from what I understand, I don't think they do like replay and this and that. And the field's so big, right? That ref might see that happen, right? But if they're not on the right angle, they might throw a card. So I think there's more strategic stuff going on as to why they flop versus like in the NFL and NBA or whatever, especially NBA. Those refs are like they're closer.
Right there.
They're right there, right? So they can decipher, and there's more replay options. And with soccer, I think it's just they try to get away with certain things. It's a strategic thing, but it's we're watching it from home. We see a guy fly 20 feet in the air, and nobody touched him, and he's like, oh, he's crying.
Because if they can score, they can get a really good position if it works, right? So I understand it.
That's why.
And soccer is a physical sport. It's physical. I mean, they're not necessarily running into each other, but they're able to keep position. You gotta be strong. Bobby says it's called diving in soccer. They make it like a sniper shot him.
I mean, that's perfect. I think that some people call them soccer fairies. That's the thing, you know what I mean? Like it's part of it. They're pretty boys. A lot of these guys are good looking dudes. They're in fantastic shape.
Ronaldo. I mean, that guy is like
he's a model, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is what it is. I think Hector jumped in with Odell is picking the Giant. No, he's not. Why would he at this point? First of all, he got in some trouble. He got arrested
Yeah.
in the airport. I think he was in and out of consciousness, and then
Oh,
I
really?
don't know though. I didn't read the whole thing, but there
Is
was
this
some issue.
recent? Is this recent?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Let me see if I can pop it up real quick. Yeah, something
I didn't know that.
something with an airport. It could have been misunderstanding. You know how these airport situations always so weird. Yeah, I'm gonna say let me pop it up real quick.
Well, I know. Are you looking for that? I know he is. He was coming off, I believe it was an ACL, like or MCL, serious injuries he sustained in that Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But he was good in the playoffs last year for the Rams. He had a
He would
few
have. He would have.
touchdowns.
I think he would have won the MVP if he
If
stayed because
he
he was
started off
dominating the
that
game.
game good, I think he had a touchdown. Like but I don't. He might not even be healthy, and he might get to a team, but who knows what kind of impact he could have. But
Yeah, it says so according to this report, before takeoff at Miami International Airport, he failed to respond to requests to buckle his seatbelt and appeared to be unconscious. So basically it was a dispatch for a medical emergency. He may have been lit. You know, like there's a thing that certain people do. I don't know if you ever noticed this, Pedro, where some people are like, yo, let me take an edible and then go on the plane.
yeah, because people get anxious, nervous about flying, so they get drunk or they
take an
something,
edible.
and yeah, I don't know.
Listen, I mean, a friend of mine named Danable had an edible one time at a Kendrick Lamar concert. Did not have a good time.
Listen, I don't. Maybe I've shared. I feel like I've shared my story with edibles with you.
No,
have I? I think
I don't think so. No,
oh
let me know.
man. Oh wow. So real quick, I don't really smoke, y'all. I have before, but it's not something I do. About 2 years ago, 2.5, maybe 2.5 years or 2 years, I had a gooey butter edible that took me to the moon and back. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. I will never do an edible again. It was bad.
You took too much, probably.
I ate the whole damn cookie.
No,
and
no,
it was
no,
like,
no, 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 no,
yeah, I ate
yeah.
the whole thing, and it was like some witch made it, and she was like mixing up the potions, and like it. I thought I was gonna die. Like it was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I'll never do it again.
I always think in terms of when you get the cookies, especially the cookies and the brownies, they're very, very strong.
It's that sugar and all that.
Yeah, take a little bit, like maybe a half or a quarter. Then give it an hour. Then listen. I'm not a doctor.
I mean, I was trying to party and be the cool guy, and I was like, cut to like 45 minutes later, an hour. I was like, what's that? Am I dying? Like, where am I? Like, it was bad.
The intensity of the high is crazy.
It was awful. Yeah, it lasted for like an hour and a half. It was the worst, man.
Yeah, and anyone has some really cool weed stories, put in the chat. And also, I already see top fives already putting out, already some good ones already there. KB, I see a really good one there. Yeah, Ghetto Boys, India. You guys are gonna be mad at our list. It's a personal thing, right? It's all about our personal list.
Yes,
but it's also the best list ever. So they're both. Like, you gotta take our list seriously.
Yeah, I think when we did the Nas, I think Hannibal went first. So when we get to this, I do want to go first, just to keep it in rotation. And then I'm sure Hannibal's list is going to be more popular. It's probably better. When I make these lists, I think
you didn't see the comment from from our Nas top 5. One dude said one guy, the first guy sounded like he just started listening to rap like the same day. Like this guy just started listening to rap yesterday.
I know,
because he sucked. And
Hannibal lost sleep over that, y'all. He texted me at like 4 a.m. like, Pedro, I can't sleep. This guy clowning.
I have another channel that obviously makes money and it takes care of me, and I don't care about anything they say. But that guy in this channel with 300 something subscribers. Yeah, it broke me. It broke me in half. I couldn't believe it. But so it's gonna probably be the same for this.
Maybe I think we're gonna have a couple of groups. I think we'll have 2 or 3 that are gonna be in the same. That's my guess. I could be wrong. I think we'll have 2. But I'm doing this from like personal, like groups that I like. These are my top 5.
Right.
I don't have as much historical. Like you're not gonna find. There's mainstream groups. I'm not dropping anything on y'all that you don't know. Okay.
Right.
But these are groups that I like to listen to, ones I enjoy, and for various reasons. And I got a couple honorable mentions because I had a hard time putting this list together. There's just a lot of good hip hop groups. Plus, I had to decide, okay, are duos groups?
So that's a good question.
Okay, so how do you look at that?
Okay, so I think duos are groups, but so one honorable mention that I put in is because one is a DJ and one is rapping. Even though that is a group, they're together, but I didn't put them as a hip hop group. That's a hip hop duo. So Mobb Deep is a group. It's two guys, right? Like at least in my mind. So I still put that in as a group. They're both at least two people rapping, right?
Okay, then we were on the same page.
Okay, cool. I would guess
some
we should
things
have
I saw I had to be 3 people or more. I'm like, no, I can't leave. You know, I'm not gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it was if it was 2 people.
Actually, let me check my list because this is a good comment. Because I am notoriously known for being very biased towards East Coast, and I'm not even gonna hold you.
You haven't been able to shake that yet, man. It's been a couple months now, and you haven't shaken the East Coast bias, but it's all right.
Two of mine's is not East Coast related. So that's good, right? 2 out of 5.
Okay, and I think those two based on are going to be the same. I think those two groups
so
will be
two aren't, but I have a bunch of honorable mentions if that makes sense. But
I know, right? There's so many. It's tough.
But
should we get into it? Should we get into this or not?
No, I actually want to talk about Nas for a minute.
Okay,
okay. So real quick, I know you guys are excited, but I want to talk about there's a special story, and it kind of shows how cool Nas is and how we need more hip hop, like people who are producing, obviously rappers, producers, to start to behave like Nas and Jay-Z. I guess age comes with wisdom, but there's certain things that these guys done that we need to do more. And you can see like these other rappers and how they behave, and they're not, they're business, right? They're all businessmen. They all have brands. They're very wealthy people, but they just act childish. They act in these ways that is detrimental to them, and I feel like to the culture, So there's an interesting story. This is from Drink Champs podcast with Noriega. I've got the other guy's name, but really good podcast. If you love hip hop, you listen because they really get a lot of these rappers to talk and throw out really cool stories. So that Jeezy is the guest, and his story is kind of when he was on, like he was the man, right? Like he was really running things back in like 2000, early 2000s. And Nas dropped an album called Hip Hop Is Dead.
Mm-hmm.
He took a slight towards that because he was on. They both were in the same label. But I don't want to say too much of the story. We'll put up right now. It's about 2 minutes, but I think it's a pretty cool story. Let me see if I can grab it. Yeah.
This shot was directed towards Atlanta, right? And you was vocal about
South
that
as a whole.
Well, true story. I met Nas in 112 bathroom. We used to use the bathroom. I was in there with all my chains.
You got a lot of bathroom stories.
Yeah.
Wait, Brown 112?
No, 112 the club.
Oh, 112. Okay,
like, it's historical. And I met him in the bathroom. We both use the bathroom. I go to the thing, wash my hands. He wash his hands. I'm like, yo, I'm Jeezy. He's like, yeah, what's up? But I kind of felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't really give me what I wanted. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, you don't know me, so I'm gonna use that for motivation.
Right.
So when I finally got on, I'm on Def Jam, on the same, I think it was on Def Jam at the time. I'm on the same label you on, and I'm popping.
Right.
So when I heard Hip Hop Is Dead, I immediately felt like, like you basically saying because I'm on now. Right. So they baited me in. They was like, what do you think about what he said? I was like, Nas ain't never bust his gun. I'm just going in, but I don't even know him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the craziest thing is, there's a lot of people in this game that I don't have respect for because it's all a facade.
Right.
It's all about the money. It's all about the clout. It's all about, what they want you to believe. But the more conversations Nas and I had, I feel like he's hip hop's elite.
Right.
Because he is the big homie.
But how does this conversation start from you disagreeing with his statement?
Because how he handled me.
Okay.
He called me. He said, yo, what's up, young? He called me.
Oh, okay.
Off of that.
Oh, so you go crazy on the radio.
He called my phone.
So, okay.
I was ready to go to war about it. I was ready for him to say something crazy. I just couldn't wait. He said, what's up, King? He said, peace, King. I said, yo, what's going on? He's like, I can understand why you feel the way you feel. And he just kind of walked me through what his thought process was.
Dope.
And I felt so crazy on that phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By the time we got, I was like, yeah, I love your music. You know what I'm saying? We ought to do a song together one day, And he was like, yeah, no, whatever you want. And when I called him for My President Is Black, he said, I got you. He sent that shit back in like 2 days. And pulled up in Atlanta in the hood by himself with a driver to shoot the video. And everything that I ever done in life that was an accomplishment for me, it's like a top 5 people that'll give me a call. One is Hove, the other one is Nas. He always, he hit me the other day. It's like, peace, King, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Or, peace, King, I see you, that's it. and to me, that's what leading by leadership is about. Because if he would have got on my level and matched my energy, who knows what that
it
would
have
be.
been all turmoil.
Right.
It would have been bad.
But not even just it being all bad. He would have instilled something in me to make me be like that when the next young cat say something about me.
Yeah, man. I caught that. It was a random video that I saw on YouTube. I was like, yeah, that's a pretty cool story, because as a man dealing with egos, right? Egos is such a big deal that Nas could have made a diss track on him, could have ethered him. He could have done, but he called him and said, I understand how you feel. And that's a lot of it with a lot of just interacting with people in relationships. When you can say that, it kind of disengages the hostility, right? He's like, I understand how you feel. Me saying that, you on. And he explained to him to a point at the end. He's like, we could do some songs together. And they have a few songs together. He said it later on. He was like, when I want to do the My President's Black, he hit Nas up. Nas did the song, and 2 weeks came to his spot to do the video. It's like, that's a kind of leadership that and that's why I feel like Nas is, like when we say he's the GOAT. Yeah, because of that.
And honestly, the more I've been thinking about this, and I told Hannibal this, I think the other day or today, on Wednesday, on the way to Virginia, I listened to every Nas album, every one from beginning to end. And a couple songs I listened to twice. I re-listened to I started with Magic, and then I went to Illmatic and went whoop, all the stuff. I didn't listen to the last two, KD 3 and 2, because those are recent in my mind. But everything else I listened to. We went back and listened to Magic, Godson, which Hannibal, I believe, had in his top 5, and I forgot how good of an album that is.
Yeah.
Life is Good. Listen to all, Hip Hop is Dead, where Nas is sitting over the grave with the rose, like just I listened to all of it, and it just, to me, just reminded myself why he is the GOAT. And I don't honestly think it's even close. I really don't. His discography is unmatched to anybody, and Hove has a great one. There's a lot of other artists that have good, Kanye's discography is really solid, right?
Yeah.
Eminem, like there's a lot of other artists out here, but it's not even close. It's just not. And hearing a story like that is, it's similar to like when you hear about these young cats talk about Kobe, right? And an interaction they had with Kobe, or like you hear these old stories about like Larry Bird or MJ, or something like that, right? Or Tom Brady, like the greats of what they do. It's like you hear these other guys talk about Nas, and they're giving him flowers. Like, he's the GOAT. There isn't really, some would say Hove maybe because he, but as far as music, if we're talking just music and then a few other things outside, and how they've inspired and how they've been men within the business and for how long, the longevity, like it's amazing, man.
Yeah, it's really those two, right? In terms of, they don't need to call him to congratulate him, right? They don't have to do that, but they know it's important. They know that Jay-Z, whether you like his music, I'm a big fan of his music. I think he started a lot of what people are doing now. But the fact that he puts that level of care in his peers, right? I mean, you may not even consider him a peer, but they all produce music. They do business is a big deal for Jeezy, obviously, as well as Nas. But I thought that was a really awesome story. And going back to what you're saying, like his track record, Nas' track record, especially the last album. Let's talk about Magic real quick.
Yeah,
I think the biggest problem I have with Magic is the release date. It was released last year, Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
and it kind of just, Christmas. You listen to some music, but I'm in a holiday mode. I saw it. I think we both talked about it a little, like over the phone, real quick. We listened to it, and we kind of dealt with Christmas and the New Year and moving forward. But this is a really great album, and I kind of noticed when we did the last couple of Nas videos, how many people were putting in Magic in their list. I was like, Magic, yeah, all right, let me re-listen. I'm like, yeah.
He said he puts a line in one of the songs. Can't remember which one. This is just to feed feed the fiends for KD3.
And it did.
And it starts off with Speechless. It's banger. It's timeless, man. I don't know what else we can say. I've said everything I can about him, but it's a solid album, man. It really is.
It's like and that's the next question I have is for this album run. So the KD1, KD2, Magic, KD3. Has any rapper, and I'm really being honest here, has any rapper had a
4-album
run like this?
I mean, Jay-Z had the Blueprint run, the Black Album was, I think, after that.
I'm not really sure if they're all couldn't. I'm trying to think because I actually put a poll what do you guys think, Blueprint or the KD1? I think we have more Nas fans here. You guys really have to check out Blueprint. I'm not just
Blueprint 1, 2. I think he's got 3 blueprints, right?
Yeah,
and then the Black Album was in with right after that, I believe. So I believe that 4 album there, it's close, man. I think I need to go back and listen to the Jay-Z stuff. I think Jay-Z has a lot more commercial hits, right?
That's
it depends on what kind of music you like. But that's what blew him up, right? He's got a lot of commercial stuff. But lyrically and everything else, Jay-Z's there. I mean, he is production wise, all that stuff.
I think that's where the issue is of why I think Jay-Z, you could say maybe he sold more albums. Maybe he probably has. Jay-Z made sure
sold far more albums.
He made sure he always connected with the best producers in the game. If this producer's running the game or whatever the time it was, Jay-Z had songs on him. So Kanye, that's the thing about the Blueprint. KD, we may have more Nas fans, and KD is a better trilogy than Blueprint, but Kanye was putting his foot in on that Blueprint. I mean, that's prime, not as crazy as much as he is now, Kanye West, right?
Mm-hmm.
Timbaland, the Neptunes, Just Blaze.
Yeah.
That's what Nas did, and that's what Jay-Z did. I think even Nas says, like, they say I pick bad beats. I think he picks the beats he wants to pick. He can, of course, he can work. He has worked with those. I think he's like, this is what I want, and I'm gonna roll with this. And I think Hit Boy they got a whole thing going. But I think that was it. Jay-Z always picked the hottest producers at the time.
He did stuff with Jermaine Dupri, Rick
Yeah,
Rubin. There's endless. There's probably 10 really hot producers that he's done music with. So I think that gives you the advantage commercially. And I believe, I think without knowing 100%, right, Jay-Z has had some doors, or he's pushed doors open for him in certain ways that it's going to get you on the top spins in the clubs and then whatever.
Right. Like he made music for the radio.
Yeah. He's had those relationships, whereas Nas is a little more like, I'm good. Like I'll do my thing here and there. And he tried it with certain things, and that's just not Nas. You can tell when Nas is making an album or making songs that he's not passionate about. That's not the best Nas. Jay-Z can do things, and maybe it's not his real thing, but he can convey it in a way to where it's still believable, and it'll be, a hit on the radio station, right?
Yeah.
So that's why he sold more albums and things like that. But I'm gonna have to go back. My homework for me, myself, homework's gonna be, I want to go back, listen to Blueprint 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Black Album's a classic in my book. So
I love Black Album. KB Magic is like, Blueprint 2 ain't that good, and 3 is mid also. I like 3. I listen to 3 every once in a while. He has a production. But kind of going back to the Magic, my favorite songs were definitely Woo Was for the Children, Wave Gods, ASAP Rocky. I mean, yes, his most important feat, his most important accomplishment in life is getting around and pregnant. But ASAP Rocky, he could throw some rhymes down, and he held his own in that song. A DJ Premier, obviously, is amazing. But that whole 9-song, everything, you can't skip it. Listen to everything. Ugly, Hollywood. I love every single song on that album. It's underrated because I think when it got released, but people should definitely check it out. Well, actually, people already have checked it out, because I didn't really know the significance of this album until I was, checking the comments, and people kept putting Magic. I'm like, there's Magic up there with, and it is. Yeah, it definitely is. I can't hold you guys there
for sure.
All right. So is it time?
Let's do it, man.
All right. So you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
This is the top 5 hip hop groups of all time. The definitive list. If anyone comes to you and says the top 5, it's coming from these 2 guys. Don't bother checking out any other list. Just
nobody else knows what they're talking about. It's just me and him right now. Okay.
Exactly.
So, you know what I think we should do?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I'm going to give my 2 honorable mentions, and if you got any, you go. And I'll go from 5. I'll say my 5, you say your 5, and we'll just kind of go like that. What do you think? That versus me just saying all, we'll just kind of go back and forth, and then we'll see what our list look like. So Man, look, okay. I'm gonna give you I got 2 honorable mentions. I was gonna just do 1, but I got 2. I could have 5, but it is what it is. So, I have. Let me see. Hold up. Make sure I didn't because I had to write down. Okay, so I think I had 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got 3
I threw
mentions. It is
4 in there, but it didn't make any sense.
So I got Mobb Deep is in my honorable mention group.
Wow, look at that, me and you.
Yeah, I love Mobb Deep.
Yeah, same thing.
I'm thinking back when I was junior, senior in high school. I remember, I think it was senior year, driving. I had my first car at that time. I remember bumping Mobb Deep like that whole fall, man.
Yeah.
Big Mobb Deep fan, Havoc, Prodigy. I like the griminess of their music. I like the street level of it. I like
it holds up.
It holds up. I can listen to it now. Big Mobb Deep fan, and if anything, I feel like there's 2 or 3 albums that I know they have a few more than that, but like there's just a couple for me. Murder Music, man. I'm a big Mobb Deep fan.
Havoc was a fantastic producer. He just knew exactly what kind of sound Prodigy was able to get on, and it's definitely an honorable mention. Yeah, I have the same one on mine as well.
So the other, I got the Locks.
I didn't put them in, but yeah, of course.
I got the Locks as an honorable mention in my.
I think the Jiggy stuff threw them back.
Yeah.
You think I'm Jiggy? And it's like, damn, dog. Did he kind of?
But Jadakiss, man, and Styles P.
They knew we got to get rid of this goofball because he's going to destroy our career. And they bounced and went to Rough Riders, and I was like, oh, okay, now this makes sense.
Crazy.
When they were just trying to get on, like if if P Diddy comes to you and says, "Listen, we're going to do a rap career. You got to put this shiny suit on and start dancing with me. I'm gonna get, you're gonna get a 7-figure deal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the suit on and dance. Like what am I gonna do? This is the only way I'm gonna get on, right?" Like,
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I think they were actually Puffy changed the name. They were called something else originally. It wasn't the Locks. It was something else. It's an acronym. I can't remember what it is. Maybe some of you guys can tell me in the chat. But I have them in my honorable mention. Big fans of them. And the one that I have in my honorable mention that I almost put in to my top 5, but I switched it at the end. The Roots. Huge Black Thought fan. I love musically how each person in that group does certain things. Right? They're like they're like a rock group in a way where each guy's playing a part, and then Black Thought's obviously lyrically he's the one on the mic most of the time.
He's a word, like
beautiful. I mean, his voice just it's so iconic, right?
Yeah.
I think they're out of Philadelphia. Repping that area really well. And Questlove obviously is just kind of like the genius behind all that.
Yeah, cool personality.
So the Roots, I almost had them at 5, but I got them in my honorable mention. Those are my honorable mentions. What do you got?
Okay, so Mobb Deep, we already got that one together. Now, because we both agree that duos is a group, so I put Eric. Well, this may not be because Eric B didn't rap, but I did put Eric B and Rakim in there. Now it may be a little bit off because again it was more producer rapper, but I feel like they were a group because they made music. They made music together, and I didn't know this until I looked this up. They were the first rap act to sign $1 million deal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And if you go watch their videos, I don't care. They maybe look kind of corny. They look awesome to me. I feel like the gold chain era was way more interesting than the platinum shiny silver rap.
The early 2000s stuff that was
big. The Big Daddy Kane chains, the Slick Rick. That looked to me way more like at least cool aesthetic than the.
It's like more class. It's like as weird as it might sound to me, it's a little more classy than to have the bling bling stuff, right, and the big earrings and all that.
Yeah, trash. But another honorable mention: Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh, interesting.
Now, see, all right. They're out of Cleveland, all right. They did
Cleveland is a city where, Cleveland.
They had a really long run. They could work with anybody. Listen,
they were on top for a while. Yeah.
Go listen to and also they worked with Notorious B.I.G., one of the best songs, Notorious Thugs. Listen to that right now.
That's such a good
banger. Still gets bumped.
That's such a banger.
Thug Love with Tupac, another great song. Those two rappers put their foot into that one. And both they hold their own. Crazy Bone, Lazy Bone.
Absolutely.
It's a lot
They
of
were on top
bones.
for a few years, man. They had a
Yeah.
lot of hits, man. Yeah.
Yeah, they work with everybody. And they still make music, and it's the same
Yeah.
cool sound. They rapping fast, but they're not like mumbling like everybody else. So big fan of Bone Thugs and Harmony. For the very first time I saw Crossroads and trying to keep up with what the fuck they were trying to say. Like what? But it sounded good. Okay, so and my last honorable mention, I threw this in there. Run the Jewels. I don't know if you guys know what Run the Jewels, but
Mike, yeah,
I love Killer Mike. I'm a big fan of Killer Mike. The white dude, LP, his name is. They make some good music.
Yeah, they do.
Real high energy. You want to work out. I don't know who's doing the producing, but Killer Mike can still hold his own. I know he's more political now, and he's a Bernie Sanders fan. Whatever. So he does more of that political stuff. But that's a really good group. Really good albums. I saw them perform once live. High energy. I think if you guys don't know about Run the Jewels, check out their. So that's my honorable mention. So if you want to jump in,
good honorable mention, man. Yeah,
we're gonna do the back and forth.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give my 5. You go 5. I'll go.
Gotcha.
So at 5, and this is a personal list. My man Hannibal just named them. Bone Thugs and Harmony is my 5. Okay. Now Bone Thugs for me. I'm back in. This is middle school. They're from Cleveland. I spent a lot of my summers in Chicago with my cousins, and they were all about that life. And I just, I'm just a kid, I'm 10, 11, 12, trying to keep up with them. Bone Thugs was big in Chicago. Okay. And I'd spend each summer like 5, 6 years in a row in Chicago. Right. And listening to their music, it's looking back now, it's so unique for the time that they were doing it. Nobody else was out mainstream like them. They kind of paved the way for this singing and all the stuff you see
definitely
now and even after. And they're talking about Ouija boards and all this crazy stuff, right? But they had the Easy influence, obviously, and then the Crossroads song, which was basically one of the biggest songs of that era
ever, probably
ever.
Yes,
I mean, it was played on the box, and you heard on the radio, and it was. Everybody's bumping that song for
I still
literally
remember the music video.
Year.
I still remember the
fantastic music video. So big Bone Thugs fan as a kid growing up. And so that's why I have them at my 5.
All right. So my 5 is the Tribe Called Quest. I love that. Q-Tip is one of my favorite rappers. Rest in peace to Phife Dawg. They kind of started where kind of similar to a lot of the other groups. I'm trying to think of another group right now where it wasn't all about banging, gang banging, being the toughest guy, being the most aggressive guy. Like they were talking about getting girls. They had, all types of different kinds of themes, and they were able to hold their own at rapping. I remember their performances, and I remember the way I knew Busta Rhymes is from listening to some of the stuff they had with the Tribe Called Quest. So big fan. Midnight Marauder is probably my favorite album. Low End Theory as well. Scenario. I mean, you could put on Scenario right now. Everyone's gonna know what that song's about. And it's unfortunate Phife Dawg passed away, but Q-Tip is still doing his thing. You put him in, he can still out rap most of these rappers. So like my list is it doesn't matter who's in the group. And I'm sure your list too. They're gonna out rap the current crap that we're listening to. Right? Like, but it's not even right now. If they
there's some current guys that but no, you're right. Yeah. I don't have anybody brand new on my list.
Right? There's some other groups that's successful, but Tribe Called Quest. I think a lot of people copied a little bit because at one point it got to a point where a lot of rap, even in the early 90s, that gangster rap was like the thing. It's all about gangster rap. It's all about being the most aggressive. But Tribe Called Quest, like De La Soul, and they're not marvelous. I should have put them as honorable mentions. Had a little bit a different take on things.
Yeah,
more relatable.
Yeah.
KB, Midnight Marauders is a fantastic album.
So do you guys know what in the chat? Do you know what marauders mean? I mean, I'm sure you guys know.
Yeah. Hopefully they know.
What are they marauding for? Yeah, you guys talk about that. Me and Hannibal know, but you got them at 5. I mean. Yeah. Okay. I mean that I can't. I'll just say this. I can't disagree with that at all. And you'll see why in a little while. So,
okay.
So my 4, I have a good segue into gangster rap. This is some historical relevance, but also the star power within this group. NWA, I have it 4. The music they were making at that time, you know, the message. Ice Cube then wasn't even the biggest guy in the group, but he was obviously the most talented, some would say.
He was the brain.
He
Well,
was
you can say maybe
yeah.
Dre, but I think Ice Cube was writing on more than
but you know, Easy was like the draw, right?
Yeah.
You know, Easy was the draw, and it was short lived, you know, because of what happened with him. But just to think about what those guys came from and what they did within the music industry, and then what Cube and Dre have done after as businessmen, as producers, as lyricists, as rappers. I mean, NWA, I can't have a top 5 without having them in there. I think that what they've done for the West Coast, it kind of started with them, in my opinion. So they're my
rap. I mean, you know, everyone kind of like, damn, they look kind of cool doing this. But yeah, I mean, good that you put them in there because I did not have them in my top 4. But can't argue. I mean, Ice Cube was one of the, I think, underrated in terms of his lyrical ability.
Yeah.
Some people don't really put him in there, but the guy can write his ass off. And he, like I said, he had this long career of doing so many other things. You can't just do that if you weren't able to put pen and paper together and write some fantastic rhymes. So can't complain about that. So this one is going to come, I don't know if you guys may even, I don't know. But I'm put this in here just to show you guys that I'm not just addicted to anyone that is in the East Coast. So the 4 for me, and maybe it's a more personal one, UGK.
Oh, damn. I did not see that coming. Now I'm excited. Okay.
Listen, I tell you, Pimp C, Bum B, especially Bum B.
Yeah.
Go listen to Murder. There's a track called Murder. Write that down. Go listen to it. Both of them destroy it. It's amazing. It's just go listen to it. You know, they're Houston legends. You know, Pimp C passed away, but Bum B out-rapped Jay-Z and Big Pimpin'. I will always argue about that. Bum B was just not like it wasn't a competition. The best track was Bum B. You know, obviously Pimp C jumped in. Even a lot of collabs that they have, like International Players Anthem with Outkast, you can't beat that. So I think Bum B, he was like the heavyweight of the lyrical stuff, but Pimp C was so stylish. I mean, he may have been a real pimp. He probably was. Maybe. I'm assuming. I don't know. And he didn't give a F too. Like he didn't even want to be on that Big Pimpin' song. He did not think anyone was more important than he was. You know what I mean? Like they had that level of confidence. Listen, Houston produced a lot of great rappers.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ghetto Boy, Scarface, right?
Yeah,
they're from Houston. Yeah.
And I think Bum B, especially Murder. I mean, there's a video on YouTube of T.I. explaining the entire verse that Bum B had.
I remember you sent me that about a year ago. And you were like, check this out. Have you heard of it? And I kind of remembered it, but not in the way that you had.
Yeah.
And then I saw that video or listened to it. I was like, damn, that's
crazy. Like T.I. is like, this is what I was listening to when I was 16 years old and I wanted to be a rapper. Like that's the kind of influence that Bum B had. And I'm sure we haven't checked. I'm sure he's got some music out somewhere, killing it. Bobby, this is funny. Bobby said, UGK, damn, Hannibal took off his backpack and put on the holster.
Nice. I didn't expect UGK out of you. I
love it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Ghetto Boys is ahead of you. I wouldn't even argue with that. I think, Riding Dirty is probably one of my favorite albums. I listen to it as often as I can, and I think it's just more of a personal thing with Bum B. And Bum B is like one of those guys he could be featured, and he'll outshine a lot of the rappers.
Yeah,
that's my 4.
I like that a lot. Actually, I like that a lot. Now, this one's mainstream. So this is, I think this group would be on a lot of people's 1. I think a lot of people might have this group as number 1.
The Fat Boys.
Nope. I think they're my number 1. No, I think a lot of like even normal people, like people just like not big hip hop fans, but like just casuals would probably have them number 1. Wu-Tang. I have them at 3.
What?
Yeah, I got Wu-Tang at 3. Yep.
I don't know about this list, Pedro.
Yep.
You were winning it.
Yeah, I got Wu-Tang at 3. You'll
right.
see why in a little while, I think. But for me, I know the significance of Wu-Tang and Cream and all these songs they got, and lyrically, like they're talking about planets and universes and stars and science, and like I appreciate it.
Not
right?
all of them are doing that.
Not all of them. RZA just, I get it.
Yeah,
right?
he's
but the significance of them, and Ghostface and Raekwon the Chef and Method Man and ODB, like it's crazy to put these many talented guys on one group, right?
It's cheating.
It's cheating. It's they are a super team. They are LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, right? So I got them at 3. The only reason they're at 3 and not at 1 or 2 is because I haven't listened to as much Wu-Tang as I have some of the 2 groups that I have above them, right?
Okay.
So I can't go bar for bar and memorize all the words on all the songs, and I haven't gone down that rabbit hole of the Wu, but I appreciate them. So for me, I have them on my list out of appreciation and respect, and a couple songs that to me that are classic, like you hear it and you never turn it off, So Wu-Tang's 3 for me. I think a lot of people have them at 1, but I do have them at 3.
Would you get a tattoo with the Cream acronym tattoo on your chest, like Matthew Green's friend has?
Absolutely not.
Cash don't rule everything around you?
Dollar bill. It doesn't. I would more be at. I would more.
Now, but 20 years later, maybe though.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Young Bucks like money. I think that's probably not. Nah, if you hustling, fuck it. That's all. That is always running around you. Like, I love that song. But yeah, 3 is. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's so many groups, and
it's just so many, man.
This one I'm gonna put out. You guys may not feel this one, but I feel it. The 3rd for me is the Fugees.
Oh, interesting.
Now, probably because of Lauryn Hill.
Dude, she's so fine. She's fine.
She's a fine and lyric. Like, she could put up lyric but if you guys, and it may be just that one album, their first album, Fugees, that was a great album.
The score,
great
man.
Collab together. Wyclef, before he was weird, Pras able to hold his own, and then Lauryn Hill was able to sing. It just blended everything together.
It's a great album.
And like I think we should do a list of top 5 female MCs. I think I may have her. She may be up there, 1 or 2, maybe.
Hold on, you mean just females?
Just females.
Oh, is she not 1 or 2? I think
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like she, and then like Wyclef could put music together, and Pras is just able to jump in. But Bobby's like, what album note? Yeah, but it. Again, personal, right? It was personal, but that was a great group. And
Wyclef is underrated. Do you not think? I mean, I think in some regards we forget about historically what he did and putting that group together. And he did the album The Carnival, and he went a different route. But Wyclef could produce, man. Super talented. And recently he got into the reggaeton, kind of, not reggaeton, but he was doing different types of music in the last 6 years. He dropped the album, I think, about 6 years ago or so. That was very different.
I mean, I still walk around saying I'm going to November. Like I still like that's a catchy ass song. But yeah, that's probably my one squeaker of all of them. But you put the score on and tell me if people don't like. No, and that's over a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a classic, one of the greatest.
I did not see Fugees either. I didn't have them in my wheelhouse. But I can't. Some would say I got Bone Thugs in my top 5. They only got one big record. 1.5 good albums. I thought the first 2 albums are good enough for me.
Yeah, I would say Fugees is my Terrell Davis pick. Okay, he wasn't there for a long time, but he was there long enough to get an Hall of Fame. Right? He was just there. He had a 2,000 yard, and then he broke every part of his body. That's my pick. It looks like a few are not feeling it, but I understand. And now, what's your second pick?
So second, really, I think most of y'all should. There's only 2 groups left, in my opinion, that should even be.
Yeah, I think you got one. You probably have one of mine in yours. But
I think we both have the same number 1. I could be wrong. My second is Tribe Called Quest. So I think that was Hannibal's 5.
Yes,
I'm a big Tribe Fest fan. Starting in high school, listening to Marauders and Bonita Applebum. You got it going on. Like that music was different because it was you know, I liked at that point I was listening to Nas and stuff like that, but like, and then, you know, NWA and like listening to other things, but like it was different. It was a different vibe, right? And I appreciated that it wasn't like gangster stuff necessarily at all, right? It was about partying and the neighborhood and thinking about things that, you know, things that other guys weren't rapping about. And Q-Tip had this very unique flow, and it kind of catches and engages you, right? And Fife Dog was extremely opposite of him as far as some of the things he'd say in his flow.
Is he more aggressive, right? Like, he's a little bit more aggressive with the women, and it was funny because he was, you know, the 5 foot freak, so like he wasn't even like taller, but he's like, I don't care, I'm a, you know, so a big fan of.
And they had, you know, they had swag. They're on the East Coast. They had fashion, like Q-Tip. You know, he was just different. And I, you know, that Marauders album's I'm a big fan of that. There's no skips on that album. It's a great album to ride in the neighborhood with and just chill out. So I got them as my 2, and I think that's I had to flip between them and Wu-Tang for 2 or 3, and I gave a nod to the Tribe because I feel like overall their catalog's a little bit better, and they did it with less talent. So for me, you know, because Wu-Tang's just got so many dudes, right? And the Tribe Called Quest is number 2 for me.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to do is this cheating if I do an audible?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because you don't know. I mean,
because I don't know, but yeah, you could totally, you know, audible whatever.
All right, so number 2 is Wu-Tang. It is cheating. There's too many of them, and they can out-rap like 90% of what's happening right now.
So you had them at number 1.
Yeah, I guess you'll figure out what's my number 1, but I still love them. I mean, and yeah, they have different albums kind of together. So like, you know, like Ghostface, we had Waycon together in the album, and Iron Man, like there's a lot of different albums, and it's like Game of Thrones with all types of different types of albums. Who's doing this? But when they came together, it's some classic stuff. ODB, I love ODB. He was crazy as hell. Shimmy Shimmy Brooklyn Zoo could play that on shimmy, now.
Shimmy yeah.
Triumph.
Give me the mic so I can take it away.
Yeah, he says like 3 times in a row, and it doesn't matter. It's still fresh. Triumph. Listen to Triumph right now.
Oh man, if that doesn't make you want to run through a brick wall, I don't know what hip hop song does.
I mean, Expected Dead coming with that. Like, what are you guys talking? Yeah, they do, and I think you do knock a few points on what the hell is RZA or Expected Dead. What you guys are talking about? Because clearly you guys are all too smart for us. Yeah, that's why we like the dumb shit. Like, yo, Method Man. Like, you know, like, come on, wait, Ghostface Killer. He may just slap you. You know, like. They have that level of aggressiveness, but intelligence, and me loving, you know, movies, action movies, the karate movies. That's the one thing in the hood. You, I'm sure you've seen this. So you go in a barbershop. Well, when you used to go to the barbershop, it's been a while. You go in there, they're always playing some kind of kung fu movie. How we just it kind of embeds in the Black culture to how much we love that kind of stuff. The anime too. So like they put that in there. I mean, 36 Chambers kind of putting that element together. I tell you, there is a cheating. It's a super group. They came out the gate being a super group. So that's why I have them at 2. I mean, I think most people would tell you Wu-Tang is my favorite rap group. And you can't even fight them. Like
I said it earlier, and we have the same number 1, so this is not planned. I think we do. I think we do. I think we just need to say it on the count of 3.
Why don't we both say the
2,
Fat Boys,
3.
Outkast.
Outkast is number 1 for me. I knew that going into my list that they were going to be my number 1.
I was fighting it because Outkast is. I think we kind of said it in the last episode. I was thinking it could be Wu-Tang, but the more we're talking about it, and more in my head, Andre 3000, as we talked about before, is an alien.
Yeah.
And he is so good that some people don't think that, you know, like they think it's just him, but it's not. I mean, they blend together in such an interesting way that, I mean, at one point, I don't know what Andre was doing, what he was wearing. I mean, at one point he was wearing a diaper. I think he was messing with Eric, my dude. I'll go crazy too. But it all started. My father brought ATL Aliens into the house, the CD.
Love that album.
And I played it. He played it, pumped it up, and I just fell in love. I mean,
dude, the the beats, the music in that,
Yeah.
elevators. I mean, that album to me was like, because I listened to that before I listened to Southern Playalistic, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That one, which was their first one, and I just fell in love with that group. I was like, this is way different. They got this South flavor, but they're still lyrics. I need my lyrics in hip hop, right?
Yeah.
And Andre gave me some of that.
And
Big
Big Boy can rap.
Big Boy can
It's just the
rap,
problem is that Andre 3000 was so out of this world, and he is such a interesting person that he don't even put in much music out anymore. And I know we already have some people who are a little bit upset. Outkast will, especially in East Coast, they're gonna like, how dare you? I'll tell you right now.
We get some hate. Hey,
I'll tell you right now.
Listen.
Andre 3000. Ask any of those Wu members, what do you think about Andre 3000's ability to rap? Come on, it's not even a question. Andre 3000 is one of the greatest lyricists ever. He can rap. He could out rap. I'm not gonna say out rap anyone who, but he could if he wanted to. That's how.
And I think what I like about Outkast also is they kind of leave us wanting some more. Andre hasn't, you know what I'm saying? He's dropped in here and there, and he's made some features and other people's stuff, but like they, and Wu did the same thing. I think, but they broke off, and but Outkast left us wanting a little bit more, and I think there's something to be said for that, right? And if they dropped an album tomorrow,
I would stop everything I'm doing. If I had a job, I would call out if I had one. But I don't. But I would. I'm not doing anything. And and that's a cool thing about Outkast. There's some people who like Big Boy because Big Boy is more, and that album we call the one that kind of put together Speaker Box and Love Below.
Yeah.
A lot of people did not like the Love Below.
I like that album.
I loved it a lot. But he was doing something different. He was being creative. But Outkast, again, that's personal list. I think
a lot of people are surprised Outkast is in even maybe the top 5. But to me, it's kind of a, like I said, like Hannibal saying, these are the groups that I enjoy, right? And I think we all look at music personally, like what time were these artists or groups out? What kind of significance does it hold for you in your time in your life when you're listening to this stuff, right? What are they rapping about? Like, so because if you talk to somebody that's 25 years old, their list is not even going to have probably any of these.
I don't even know what their list would be.
Exactly, their list would be. Who knows? I don't even know.
What rap groups are out right now other than Migos?
But Migos would be in most 25-year-olds group. I'm sure it would. Migos would be there. It'd be Cash Money, or not Cash Money, but it'd be Drake and one album he did with somebody. They would think Future and Drake are a group now or something like that. It'd be that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So Outkast, that's my number one group. I'm
trying to look up hip hop groups. You guys know what any hip hop groups are happening right now? Like who's I'm looking. I don't know any. I'm thinking like right now, like it's current. Yeah, it's nobody that I can. There's a lot of solos, but Migos was the one that was, Oh, it was Ghost Cab with a really good mention. Goody Mob. CeeLo. He's an alien too. He just said that. He said that weird stuff that he shouldn't have said. But that's his fault. Kind of similar to White Club. We talking about White Club did that weird thing with the I think it was charity that he more financed. He did not pay them back. He did something weird. People didn't give him a lot of that. We just dropped the reference on y'all. I don't know. Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm sorry. You don't have those obscure. So let me ask y'all something real quick. Hannibal's looking up some current. If each of you guys and gals give us your number one. You can give us but what is your number one group? What group do you like? Just type in that group in the chat right now. I want to see what you guys got. I know you guys have been putting in a lot of groups here and there. Give us your number one. Yeah. And let's see what you guys got for your number one. But also, we listen to all of this. I know I would get, I know I was a little upset about not, Wu not being number one for any of our lists, but I listen to all this stuff. So it's just a, list. Don't kill us. They'll be fine. They'll get. He was like, "Whoa, over! How dare you?" Yeah, that's. So Dasher Poppy says NWA. Yeah. Wu-Tang from Ghost Cab. Okay, I'm 42-year-old head. Yep, we're 41. Hannibal's like, I don't know, 26. I don't know how old Hannibal is. I'm 38. I'll be 39 next year. Above the Law from Dick Padden.
This guy.
What's happening? Their favorite movies and
Oh,
their favorite Steven Seagal movies. Talking about hip hop groups.
Is that Above the Rim, Tupac? What?
Yeah, I mean,
That's funny.
but yeah, there's so many good groups that kind of came. What happened to Salt and Pepper? I mean, those fine women. I mean, I would like to watch them do whatever they were doing.
Yeah,
You gonna listen
Salt
to
and
much of
Pepper's
this stuff?
They're all right. Who was the Salt and Pepper had Spinderella, right? Yeah, that was the DJ.
Spinderella was fine.
Spinderella was the fine one.
She still looks
the other
fine.
two was, I'm good.
No, but so I think the most I saw. I think it was Pepper. She was on Surreal Life, one of those stupid reality TV shows, and she was able to. I think it was a kielbasa or a banana or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of those show me special talent, and then she did that, and I was like,
it scarred Hannibal. He just can't. He can't stop thinking about it.
Listen, I need to go to a concert and then remind her about that to see if I don't come across as a creep.
So Hector says Noriega is my number one, but Noriega, you talking about Capone and Noriega? Because Noriega was never part of he was part of a group with Capone, and I think they did maybe 2 albums and they weren't great. So I don't know what. I guess Noriega, Hector, you're saying that's your number one artist? Unless there's a different.
I don't think you're talking about Noriega because that guy only had like one song, but he has a good podcast though.
He has a good podcast.
Yeah.
Noriega's album though was a banger. Like he had.
Yeah, I think he had Pharrell in there killing it.
Big Pun. He had DM. I mean, Noriega had a good War Report. That's a classic. Yeah, it's okay. But Capone and Noriega they're not even in top 20, I don't think.
Yeah.
Books,
I think we mentioned a lot of great groups. We didn't go like super old, like we didn't throw out like Run DMC. And Run DMC is a trailblazer, right?
Sure.
What other like classic hip hop?
De La Soul, obviously. You mentioned them earlier.
I could throw in there.
Beastie Boys, but Beastie Boys is trash. So I don't even put them in and that's gonna offend some of y'all, but Beastie Boys is one of the most overrated groups of all time.
Yeah, I don't like them at all. And I don't know why so many of you guys like them.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it. They have one great song to me, and it's a rock song, Sabotage. And they're not really rapping. Terror Squad, definitely. Remy Ma,
Terror Squad, all day.
She's
TS, baby, TS.
Yeah. But I think we covered we went all across the country. We went, Midwest, down south, obviously the West Coast,
East Coast, yeah.
I think we didn't exactly. And Matthew Green, I think he's white. So he's our vouch. I think
Matthew Green is Caucasian, yes.
But yeah, he is. Okay, I was gonna say, go in the comments. Let us know if you're a white man. But yeah, Beastie Boys sucked. Beastie Boys
so overrated. I don't understand it. Maybe I need to listen. No, I'm good. I've listened to enough. I don't get the Beastie Boys stuff.
No, I don't like them at all. And I'm sure they were important to some. I'm sure they were important. I'm sure they did something special. Obviously, they brought a lot of people who probably didn't who listen to hip hop to bring them in. That's always a good thing.
MTV and Def Jam and like they were pushed by the machine.
They looked the part. Yeah, they looked the part.
They were pushed by the machine. I think
they were cool. They didn't seem like they were assholes. They didn't seem like what do you call? What's that chick with the big butt? Iggy. Where she didn't want to. She didn't want to acknowledge culture. She didn't want to learn anything. People trying to tell her, "Hey, you should like understand what's going on." She's like, "F that, I make money."
Yeah, but she looks good, man. Does she not look good to you? I think
that's
a fine. She looks good. She looks good.
I think
she's a snack.
Tory Lanez is gonna like produce her next album.
Really?
If he could make it work,
dude, that might. I don't know. That might. I mean,
he's
commercially talented. He's super talented. That could be a commercial hit. Yeah.
He's a weirdo. Shoots women in the feet, but God can make a song. You know what? Thank you, Dasha Poppy. I like his off
Junior
the wall.
Mafia, D12, yeah.
D12. Underrated.
That's Detroit. That's Eminem, right? That's Detroit.
Yeah. With I forgot. Proof. Bizarre was this fat guy that would just say the outrageous.
Weird. Yeah.
He
was like the ODB of Wu-Tang. He was kind of like that. You know?
That's some really good like songs you could put on to make like obviously they were all angry for some reason. Some really good stuff. But yeah. Thank you, Ghost Cap. At least we can both agree that maybe Wu-Tang should be the greatest. And who's gonna argue if someone ran up to you and said, "Yeah, Wu-Tang is," of course.
You're not going to get an argument from 99% of people.
Yeah.
And I think if you ask the average person on the street, who's the best rap group of all time? Wu-Tang's going to come out of 9 out of 10 people's mouths, and then you probably get some Run DMCs and NWA. Like that's going to be the list of people. Those are the 3 groups that mainstream people would probably say, I would say.
Yeah. And we all agree that BT Boys suck.
Yeah.
Not good. They're trash.
Trash.
All right. So we got a lot of people. We got a few people a little bit upset about our list. What list do we should do next? Should we do which one will bring the most people? I know I'm gonna see some comments on this. One's like, you get sick with it.
Should we? Should we do a worst list of something at some point? Like the trash of hip hop. Should we?
I know
do that?
you're gonna say Will Smith. Get me mad. You're gonna say Will Smith. You're gonna say some bunch of other stuff. And Will Smith. Actually, I can't even get mad with you, Will Smith. He messed up. He's slapping people now. I'm not gonna defend Will Smith.
Should we do? I think at some point, maybe we do a top 5 worst hip hop groups and/or rappers.
I will go with top 5 worst rappers.
Top 5.
I'm not gonna go obscure. Is rappers I
or
just don't
overrated.
It
could also, we can go overrated, right? Because like Will Smith, like we like to clown on Drake or something. Like, is he overrated? Is he not? I don't know, but we could do overrated or worse.
Overrated is a better.
Maybe overrated.
It's really opinionated. I think we'll go with that.
Yeah, that could be fun. And I think at some point we could do female rappers. Maybe we could do that in the same show. We can give top 5 female rappers or something of all time. I think some I think that's a varying. There's a lot I think that list could be hard to put together because 1 through 5, like they could be interchangeable.
Exactly.
The ladies.
Bobby's like top 5 comedy, top 5 comedians. Hard. We should. Don't worry, we'll have a lot of these lists because it seems like you guys are into it.
We got time.
We got a lot of time. But other than that, let's see. Your Bears. I know your Bears played the Jets and didn't do too well.
Justin Fields didn't play, and we had playing some guy. I don't even know. It wasn't good. So.
Yeah, but you guys played against a backup quarterback too. So
yeah, he went off for like 300 or something.
Mike
White.
And now they're saying, yeah, boot this other guy. Mike White did this already last year. I think he has some record like the greatest start for a Jets quarterback.
Yeah,
threw for 5,000 yards. Next game, threw 47 interceptions, and he went back on the bench. Now all of a sudden, he did it again. And
Zach Wilson's done. Zach Wilson, he's not going to start for the Jets unless Mike White gets hurt.
So if you were running a team, you would not put him back in. You would not put Zach back in.
No. Not right now. I think the Jets. I think it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. I think the Jets are in a spot where their defense is really good. They have offensive playmakers. You go with the guy that's hot. I think you could ride Mike White better into the playoffs than you can Zach Wilson. So I stick with Mike White.
I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting how that kind of all fell apart, but he just never really showed that he can do the job. So
yeah.
We'll see. And your boy didn't play. I mean, that could have been a whole different game if he actually played. You have the worst backup quarterbacks. You had Trevor Siemian, why is he still in the league? Then you guys have Nathan Peterman. Like, was that the guy?
Did we have Peterman or is he? We had him at some point. I think he's there. Yeah, I don't know because it's just bad.
You gotta get better backups. At least complement or have the same skill set as your boy. Like if it's just him that's dual threat and then a bunch of guys that can't run, then what's the
Well, Simeon threw for over 100 yards in the first quarter, and then he ended the game with like 160. So he did nothing for the next 3 quarters. So our offense and our defense is bad. Usually we have a good defense, but we gave away our 2 best players this year, Smith and Quinn. So I'm not surprised where we're at, but I'm next year with Justin Fields, I'm telling you, we're gonna get another offensive piece. We need to get a defensive line help a little bit. We'll be all right. I'm not worried. This year's it is what it is. They're not going to the playoffs. They'd have to run the table at this point, but that's probably not gonna. It's not gonna happen. So
yeah, I'm fighting for dear life, holding on to dear life that the Giants make the playoffs. It don't look too good, but you never know. Still a lot of games left. Ghost Capital, really good topic. Top 5 cover art. Number 1, Lil Kim Hardcore. I tell you, had that CD at the house, and I had it in my house. Foxy Brown one too. I look. There's always young. I was a young boy.
Who's the better looking woman, Foxy Brown or Little Kim? Then, not now. Now it's
Okay,
easy.
yeah, I
But
don't
then,
know what's
then
Foxy Brown.
you think?
Especially
Yeah,
she was a little taller.
a little
But Little
taller,
Kim was
more
both
curvy.
were fine.
Yeah.
But that Little Kim hardcore. Listen, that's all I had.
I remember in high school, my buddy had, or maybe was it me? And I think it was. I can't remember. It might have been My Locker Annie. We had the album cover. We ripped it out of the Source magazine. And we had it. We had it in our locker.
Oh man!
Yeah. So you open your locker, you see a kitty cat, right? Just,
you can't. How you could be upset when you see?
Sorry,
that?
ladies that are watching. Sorry.
Hey, listen.
This is true.
They told us sex sells, and it was like you want to go all in,
But she could flow. Little Kim could flow, and Foxy. Both of them had talent. So
this may be a good topic to talk about the state of female MCs right now. A really popular personality influencer, we want to call it. I think she used to be with one of the guys Amigos. She dropped the album. It sold for nothing. Like she has 17 million views.
Swati or short Swati or Swati or yeah.
Fell right on her face. And it kind of, is it because we only have enough space for the same kind of rapper, or female rappers is not good? Because you got your Cardi, you got Megan. Okay, and then you have a few other there like
Nicki Minaj.
You can't have too many. Yeah, Nicki. You can't have too many on the same talking about the same stuff.
Yeah.
But is the machine only pushing the same stuff? So I think that's a good comment because I saw a really interesting video about it. But yeah, Foxy. I saw a few of her albums. The covers were really helpful for me as a young boy. That's all I wanted to say.
He said helpful.
Helpful. Hey, good music and good cover art is very important for me as a young man.
That's funny.
But other than that, thank you guys for coming through. Appreciate you guys going through our list and listening to it and punching the air. If you heard something that didn't pan well, Naughty by Nature, of course. Public Enemy.
So that's just 1, 2, 3. That's the 5 right there from Boycott. Okay.
I'm not gonna argue with that one.
Yeah, well, in those 5, but between Hannibal and I, we had Fugees, Bone Thugs, and Outkast. So not for our Public Enemy. Yeah, it's one that I went back and forth with a little bit.
Yeah.
But honestly, and I'm not proud to say it, I just don't know enough about. I just know their mainstream stuff. I haven't listened to every single song that they've done, so I can't put them.
Public Enemy.
It'd be wrong for me to put them on there, because I haven't heard it.
You may like it. I know Chuck D does tend to rap off beat sometimes. So I don't know if that bothers you, but Flavor Flav comes in with like the flavor and obviously Flavor Flav and like the energy and the ad libs. I think you may actually like it. I think let me see if I could recommend an album. You may just go for probably the debut. Debut album is probably the strongest. And also, do you like a lot of politics in you? Whatever you're talking about.
I don't mind it. Yeah,
Nope,
don't mind it.
Let's see.
I mean, I understand what I'm getting with Public Enemy, so I'm good.
All right, not the debut. You can go with it takes a million. Take a nation of millions to hold us back.
Okay.
So that's a pretty one. Fear of the Black Planet, but yeah, it takes a nation of millions to hold us back. I think that's a pretty hard hitting. That's like 1988.
That's crazy.
That's over 30 years.
So I was 7 when that album came out. So yeah, I wasn't. Yeah. That's about 4 years before I started getting into hip hop. I was like 11 when I got the Nas album. So.
But you definitely check that out. But so we're gonna have another list for Wednesday.
Yeah. What is today? Today
is Monday.
The whole holiday got my days kind of like foggy. You know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna do our top 5 overrated rappers. I know you're gonna say one. You're gonna say a few. They're gonna get me mad. I know.
Listen,
you're going to get me mad.
Bring your popcorn. Bring your popcorn.
Because you be saying some stuff that I don't understand what you're talking about. I know you're gonna throw in Will Smith. He's not overrated. I don't think a lot of people like him right now. So don't put Will Smith in it.
The best song he did was "Summertime," and that was in 1979 or something like that.
Excuse me. Get jiggy with it.
I gotta go. I can't. I can't.
Wild Wild West song. Like what are you talking about?
Here we go. I'm gonna slap you like you slapped Chris Rock, man.
He was with Salma Hayek. So have you? All right.
Good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We try to get to that 500 subscribers. we're doing pretty well with watch time. So you guys are watching this stuff. We have a really good,
thank you,
solid group of people who like what we're doing, and we appreciate coming through. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Peace.